Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Today got a new review on the new dash cam battery from Blackboxmycar. Yes, you heard that right. It's a dash cam battery made by Blackboxmycar, which is a retailer I often provide affiliate links to. They are the largest North American distributor of dash cameras, and they had secretly been developing this new dashcam battery with one of the designers of another dashcam battery. So they were kind enough to send out a review unit. So I'd like to thank them for sending this review unit out. Of course, I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, and if you like my videos, I'd appreciate if you hit like and subscribe. They definitely help my channel, and I wouldn't be able to do reviews like this if it wasn't for you guys. So if you guys aren't aware, dashcam batteries are typically used for people who can't hardwire their dash camera to their fuse box for whatever varying reason. I've heard some stories of some cars giving error messages and cutting power off to the hardware kits, things like that. I've never had that issue. I'm not 100% sure what cars would do that. But also, the reason I personally use them is I live in a very cold climate in Minnesota, and in the winter, running several dash cameras in parking mode and my testing drains my car battery too much, and it basically reduces the lifespan of the car battery. So having one of these dashcam batteries is a nice way to protect your starter battery. Now in the past I have reviewed the CellLink Battery B, which they don't sell anymore, but it was replaced with the CellLink Neo battery, which I also reviewed, and then followed by the Blackvue PowerMagic Ultra battery, which is manufactured by the same company that developed the CellLink batteries. I'll provide links down in the description if you are interested in checking those reviews out, although the CellLink Battery B, as I said, is no longer sold. There are going to be several different options for this. On the Blackboxmycar website you can see that there are several output options. One, just a standard cigarette output, and that's going to be for cameras such as Blackvue that use parking mode with a standard 12 volt socket. But then there's also going to be an option for Thinkware and Viofo, where those are going to be spliced with 3 wires. So you got to make sure you get the correct output cable with your battery. You can also choose what kind of ADA circuit comes with yours. Now this is one I just had lying around, but this is a mini type fuse. So there's going to be several options. You'll just have to check your car fuse box and see what kind you use. Most likely it's going to be one of these, but it can vary. So here you can see on the box we got lithium iron phosphate material. That's really important because those type of batteries, while more expensive, are much more resistant to hot or cold temperatures. So they're very good in applications such as in cars, which can experience really hot or cold temperatures. Now there is a smartphone app. It's going to be an app called Incel actually, and we will show that later in this review. It says you got sleek modern design, parking protect 24/7 ready, dual USB port versatility, smart fast charging, and we're going to talk about what makes this one so special with how much quicker it can charge than other competitors' batteries. So you're going to be able to either hardwire or just power it with your 12 volt cigarette socket too. So when you open the box, it's going to open up to an accessory box. Now, my box isn't going to be exactly like what the full retail version is going to be. I'm missing a few things, and I got some other testing supplies that are not the same, but you'll see here on the box what is supposed to be included. So typically you're going to get, of course, the battery. As I said, the add a fuse circuit of your choice. Then you're going to get a cigarette plug input cable, a cigarette lighter socket. This will be to power your camera. In my case it's going to be a Blackvue camera, which is why I use the 12 volt socket and not one of the spliced cables. You're going to get an ACC input cable, and you can see here, this is what's going to make this so special. It actually has 2 ACC inputs, so you're going to be able to get 7 amps charging from both of these, so it should charge faster than competing batteries. According to the specs, you're going to get 25% more capacity at 96 watt hours compared to CellLink's 76.8 watt hours. With the faster charging, it's not going to take a lot longer to charge that. According to Blackboxmycar, for a one-channel dash camera, you're going to be able to get up to 48 hours of parking mode compared to 40 hours with a CellLink Neo or Blackvue B124X. And for a two-channel, you're going to get up to 30 hours of parking mode compared to 25 hours from the CellLink Neo or Blackvue B124X. With this dual charging input, it's going to take about 45 minutes to fully charge the battery from zero, but that's about the same as the CellLink Neo or the B124X from Blackvue, but you're getting that extra 25% more power capacity. So you're going to get a couple Velcro cables. This will be to mount this, help mount the battery somewhere if you'd like to have it removable on some surface. And then you're going to get the user manual and the app setup guide. So this is going to be connecting through Bluetooth just like the B124X app from Blackvue, so we'll check that out a little bit later in this review. Now here you can see the battery. It's pretty heavy, but all of these batteries are. So you can see here, there's quite a lot offered here. 7,500 milliamp hours. There you can see again, lithium iron phosphate. So looking at this side, what's really cool is you can have two USB devices charging there. One example of what you could charge with that would be something like a wireless hotspot. So you can plug this into your battery, and that way it's always getting power from it to keep your hotspot on if you have a cloud-based camera. Now from left to right we got the extension. So you can actually get a second expansion battery and you connect them together so it doubles the battery capacity. This is where you're going to plug in your output cable. So for example, we got this. Okay, I had to do that off camera. It's actually pretty snug fit, and with the camera in front of my face I was struggling there a bit, but so that's where I'm going to be connecting my Blackvue dash camera. So there's some sort of communications port. According to the manual, that's for firmware upgrades, and it says administrator only, so I don't think that's something consumers are going to be able to use. Here we got a switch. We got a high and low. According to the manual, the low is actually called limit. So you're going to set it to high if you're charging with the ACC input, because you're going to get 14 amps of charging. And if you're using the 12 volt socket, then you're going to put it on the limit. If we turn that on, you'll actually see it lights up. Shows you capacity, just a couple other LEDs to show its state. Turn that off. So there is an optional car battery wiring harness that I do not have, but that's going to be to connect it straight to a car battery. And then here we have the ACC in, which again is this cable right here. Now I wanted to do a quick comparison of the BI-750 from Blackboxmycar compared to the Blackvue B124. Now this is previous model, the B124. The current model that they sell is the B124X that also adds a USB output, but I believe it's only one, so you can charge one device or power one device with it. You can see it's pretty similar on the side though. You do have an expansion port, so you can add expansion batteries again. And then we have here a switch. This one is labeled cigarette or hardwire, so that's, in my opinion, that's a little more clear just by looking at it what that means, so you don't have to look it up in the instructions. And then the power input. Here you can see a little battery indicator and a Bluetooth icon. So yes, both of these do have the Bluetooth app that allows you to check the battery life on your phone wirelessly over Bluetooth. Now the CellLink Neo battery, which I did review before, I don't have that anymore, but it was pretty much the same as this. It looked very similar to this first generation B124. You can see here actually where it was manufactured. It was manufactured in Korea by eGen Inc. So let's take a look at where this one was manufactured. Manufactured by YKey Lab Inc. But it is made in Korea, so it's built and manufactured in South Korea. So Blackboxmycar worked with one of the original engineers who created the Cell-Link Neo dashcam battery, and they've been developing this in Vancouver, Canada for the past couple of years. They have been selling different battery packs at Blackboxmycar for the last 8 years. So basically everything they've learned along the way they wanted to apply into their own dashcam battery. They took a lot into consideration, such as the USB input, but also you can see while this is longer, it is quite a bit thinner. So they were hoping to basically have a battery that would fit in small spaces easier, or tight spaces. And for me, it's just going to go under my car seat. But I can definitely see this being better in something like a glove box because it's thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and actually power it up with a cigarette adapter here on my desk. Test it out before I install it. Alright, you'll see it's actually blinking on level 4, so it's not completely full. Let's go ahead and open the app. Wants to access my location. I'm going to just say allow only when using the app. There you can see it immediately found it, so I'm going to connect to it. I didn't have to go into my phone's menu or anything, it was automatically listed there. Alright, so no barcode entered, recognize the barcode of the product. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do that off picture. Alright, so that was pretty cool. With the app you can just scan the barcode to register the product. So with the app you're going to see several different options here and specs going on. We have a charge time on the top left. It says the charge mode and the capacity right now, or how much it's charged. It's at 99%. It does list a temperature. Then it's also giving you your input and output voltage, amps, and wattage. You can see down near the bottom it shows you some of the settings. Now to change those, you can't do that from this screen. You actually got to hit that top left setup button, and then you can change the settings here. Now some of the things, such as the dual charger, you want to make sure that's set to whatever you have the camera wired through. So if you're using the cigarette input that I'm using right now on my desktop, you do not want to have that dual charger turned on, because that could potentially really screw something up, because it needs to know how much power is coming in. Of course, along the top you can see there's several different options, such as turning the speaker on or off, the LED, or you can even turn the charging off. Also on the top right there is the app user manual and the device user manual. So it's pretty cool that if you lost the original manual from the box, then you still have them in the app. So that's pretty cool. I would definitely check these manuals out. I'm just briefly going through this really quick. So yeah, this app's actually pretty impressive. From the last time I used the battery app for Blackvue, it was pretty limited and didn't have as many options. And this definitely looks like a much cleaner design too, so I really like this app. Okay guys, now I'm gonna go ahead and hardwire this into my car. Now, I explain this in most of my videos. My fuse box is really low to the ground. It's really hard for me to show the fuse box while I'm actually installing it, but I will provide a link down in the description to a guide for hardwiring dash cameras and dash cam batteries from Blackboxmycar. They are a very awesome website for that kind of information. So check that link down in the description if you want to learn how to hardwire this dash cam battery or dash cameras in general. Alright guys, so I've been testing it for about 2.5 weeks now, and I wanted to talk about my impressions and some things to watch out for. So one thing you want to make sure that I screwed up on accident is make sure that you're connecting to fuses that are only on while the car is on. Now I knew I'm supposed to do that, but for some reason I somehow didn't check it properly. You should use a voltage checker or voltage meter to make sure your fuses are off when the car is off. And when you're choosing fuses, try to use fuses that are between 10 to 30 amps. That is what Blackboxmycar recommended. I didn't know that that would make a difference, but initially I was just using two fuses that have 7.5 amp fuses, and I wasn't getting as fast of charging from those. When I switched them to two fuses that are 15 amps each, it did seem to actually help. So for some reason I wasn't able to turn on the high current charging in the app, but I was using normal mode, and I did turn off smart charging when I was having some issues with charging not going as fast as I was hoping for. And for some strange reason, even on dual charging, I was only getting about 4 amps, which is lower than the other dash camera batteries. And you know, they're advertising this as high as 14 amps. But then I noticed after I switched off the battery, reset the app, and turned everything back on, then it jumped up to about 10 amps. So there seemed to be some sort of connection issue with the app. I think it was just giving bad readings, and once I reset everything, it worked fine. So I would suggest, if you're changing your settings, just turn everything off and restart it all, and that seemed to solve my problem. Now your battery life is going to vary. I was testing this with a new DR900X-2 channel, and Blackboxmycar says they expect about 12 to 15 hours of battery life for that 2-channel system. So, you know, that's about half of what they advertise this can do, but you got to remember that's a pretty high-end camera, and if you're using the buffered motion detection, it's going to use more power. They do offer, or some dash cameras do offer lower power mode functions though. I was also using the 4G LTE module, which uses even more power because that means it has to be connected to the 4G cellular network all the time. So I was only getting about 11 to 12 hours, I'd say. But I am also in Minnesota, and it's really cold right now. It's been in the 20-degree range at night, and even, you know, lower 30s during the day, so it's pretty cold here for November. If you're concerned about getting much more battery life, you might want to consider a dash camera that doesn't use as much power. You might want to consider not using the 4G LTE connection on the new Blackvue cameras, and you could also look at low power parking modes if, you know, that's something you're really concerned about. Now the big issue with which camera you choose is Blackvue and Viofo cams will not have a timer functionality when you're using those cameras with this dashcam battery. Viofo doesn't have a timer functionality at all, and Blackvue only has it if you use the 3-wire hardwire kit that comes with the new X models, but currently that is not supported for this battery, and maybe it will in the future. We're not entirely sure about that. So if you want even better battery saving options, I would consider using it with a Thinkware camera, because with the Thinkware kit on this battery with a 3-wire input cable, your timer functionality built into the Thinkware cameras will work, and whenever you get home and park in the garage, you can always just hold the power button down on the Thinkware camera for a few seconds, and then it shuts off, and then next time you start up your car, it turns on again. That's something I've been really wanting to see with Blackvue, but currently they still don't offer anything like that. So overall, I think this is a great option if you are considering a battery. Of course, due to the high price, it's out of a lot of people's price range, and due to some of the limitations on battery life, you know, that might turn people away from it too, unless, you know, maybe you're rich enough, you can always buy the expansion battery too and just make sure you're driving enough. I only drive about 8 minutes to work. It's a very short commute, so when the battery is dead and I drive only 8 minutes, I'm obviously not fully charging the battery, but I am getting about 3 hours of battery life, and that is more than my Blackvue PowerMagic Ultra battery, so I will say that it wasn't a whole lot more, maybe like half hour or so longer, but it was noticeable that I was getting longer recording life when I only drove 8 minutes from a dead battery. So again, if you are set on a battery, I think this is a great option with the faster charging, the higher capacity, and of course Blackboxmycar does have a lot of great technical support. They were very helpful for me while testing this battery over the last few weeks. So if you're interested in purchasing this, of course, check down in the description for an affiliate link to Blackboxmycar. If you use that link, you should get 5% off your order. Of course, if you like this video or my other videos, I'd appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe. And as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.